Let me ask you a question. You ever look up at a thunderstorm from far away and see flashes of lightning in the clouds, but never hear the thunder with it? The common term for this is heat lightning, but guess what? It doesn't exist. But how can you see something that doesn't exist? Well, you're actually just seeing regular lightning, and heat has nothing to do with it. There's no sound of thunder simply because you are so far away that the air absorbs all the sound energy from that clap. But where the heck did heat come from? The term came to be from a similar faulty method as the oddly named Greenland and Iceland, and it was all about the time that it was seen. Heat lighting is most often seen during the hotter months of summer, and that alone was enough to win it an entirely anti-scientific name. Just unbelievably wrong. But now that you know one more reason to be right about the weather, let me throw 7 more at you, and I'll even tell you why the weatherman gets paid to be wrong. Now, I bet you sometimes hear your local weatherman telling you to turn around and don't drown if you're driving through flooded streets. And maybe you've seen those crazy pictures and videos on the internet of feet of water inundating people's cars and houses. So it makes sense that you wouldn't want to drive in 3 feet of water. But what's the harm in a few inches? Well, you never know what might be in that water. Debris could be littered at the bottom, doing damage to your wheels. That water could also cause widespread hydroplaning. No flooding more than a couple inches deep is safe to drive in, even if it looks pretty shallow. You know what's also not safe? The top of the Empire State Building during a thunderstorm. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. You could be struck by lightning. But this is a classic example of how lightning can strike at the same place more than once. Let me explain. So the odds of being struck by lightning on any given day are about 1 in 250 million. Getting that strike to happen in the same place twice has gotta be nearly impossible. Here's the thing though. Lightning occurs when the charges of molecules in the bottom of a cloud separate into mostly negative, while the ground charges positive. Eventually, when enough charge builds, a discharge is needed to rebalance that charge, and that discharge always takes the path of least resistance, which is often the least amount of air. Now let's revisit your trip to the top of the Empire State Building. You're high up, closer to the cloud than the surrounding area, and isolated from the shorter buildings below. Yeah, there's not much resistance between you and the cloud. On average, that spot right there gets struck by lightning 25 times a year. So definitely more than twice. Something else that has happened more than twice is cars driving under an overpass during a strong thunderstorm or tornado. You may think that this will protect the car from being sucked up by the tornado or pelted by hail, but it actually just makes the winds stronger, and the winds carry deadly debris into vehicles. So an underpass is definitely not the best place to be if a tornado is coming while you're driving. The better idea is to get off the road into a sturdy structure and get inside away from windows. I'm not a certified weatherman, but trust me, there's a reason they get paid to tell you this kind of stuff. I got a couple more common tornado misconceptions here. A lot of people might look at this one and think, well, yeah, of course, deserts get dust devils all the time when it is perfectly sunny outside. But I'm not just talking about that kind of weather. I'm talking about those real big-time tornadoes that can drop from a strong thunderstorm. They can occur with little to no rain too. When the winds are really strong, way up in the sky, it can blow the rain and hail far away from the rotating part of the thunderstorm, near the ground. You may still see some very dark clouds close to the ground as a warning sign, but it may not rain at all near a tornado while it is on the ground. Now, if those dark clouds you're seeing are green, that doesn't always mean a tornado is coming. And actually, the reason you're seeing the green has nothing to do with a tornado. That greenish color is caused by a certain angle of refraction of light from the sun against large hail in the cloud. Sometimes tornadoes occur in storms that have a lot of hail too, but there is no direct correlation between tornadoes and that green color. Now, you may have seen the green clouds before, but I think there's a good chance you haven't lived through a tornado. But in the case that you ever do, just don't open all the windows to equalize pressure. Now yes, the pressure change can cause your windows to pop and do more damage, but it is just like the situation with the overpass. Wind and debris is going to be the most lethal. Now, how to protect yourself from that? I'd recommend going to the lowest and most interior room of your house and throwing a helmet on, and also grab a whistle to help with search and rescue. That will save your life, trust me. But you know who else could save your life? The weatherman. Everyone talks about how they get paid to be wrong. And technically, yes, you're right. But tons of other scientists go through theories and experimentation and end up with the incorrect conclusions all the time and get paid. Meteorology, the study of weather, is a very new science, and it deals with an ever-changing and complex atmosphere. The fact that math and computers that meteorologists and technicians developed could actually model the dynamic atmosphere with any sort of accuracy should be impossible, but it is real. The weatherman can be fairly precise on 1 to 3 day forecasts with today's technology, but past that, knowledge of the atmosphere comes into play to figure out what is most realistic. So yes, they get paid to use that knowledge to the best of their ability to help the public, similar to how doctors operate. Comment down below what you think of meteorologists. I'm not one yet, so I won't be offended. Thanks and take care.